Hey guys, so I'm going to do a neutral taupe and brown makeup tutorial today. I like neutrals because then it brings the focus onto maybe some more subtle aspects of color that you're wearing. For example, I've got little red flowers in my earrings, and so your eyes kind of go to that red. And then I got this shirt yesterday at Spencer's, and your eyes kind of go to the blue and purple in Wednesday. I can't wait for part two of Wednesday, you guys. I found this promotional poster for part two at Five Below yesterday, but let me show you the rest of this shirt. Wednesday Adams, and then on the bottom it says tears don't fix anything, and it's got thing on there with her. So anyways, yeah, I can't wait for part two of Wednesday. Part one was so good, but you can't really see it in that poster, but she's got like the black tears coming down. I've got my studio light as close to that poster as I can without it actually being in frame. I have studio lights on either side of me, and then I have lights in front of me. It's very important in YouTube videos to get the right balance of light and tones and colors, and I don't feel like a lot of people spend enough time on their lighting, and it's taken me years and years and years to get this to be just the way I want it to be, but I love the lighting in my videos. Anyway, yeah, so we're going to do a neutral makeup tutorial. Now, if you're new to my channel, hi, I'm Deb. And the way that I usually do my makeup tutorials is I pre-apply things like foundation, corrector, concealer. I prime my eyes, I do my brows because I don't like the videos to be too long. So I usually start with blush. So I thought I would pick up the red flowers in my earrings by using red blush today. Since we're doing neutral eyes and lips, that should work out okay. So I'm going to use the red blush that was in the Glamlite Chucky palette. This collection has been released a couple of times, and I picked it up, I think, on its second go-round, but there's a pink and a red in there, so I'm going to very carefully take my old Essence blush brush and just tap it once into that blush because it's super pigmented and I don't like a ton of blush, but just that little hint of red is just about right to me. Okay, now I have to be even more careful on the second tap because there's already blush on the brush. So I gotta be even more careful how much pressure I use. Yeah, red is a very tricky color to work with for blush because it's almost impossible to get it to show up but not to have too much, you know? So just keep blending until you get the amount that you want. I don't like a lot of blush. All right, so like I said, my eyes are already primed, but you know what? Do you see anything off here? This brow is darker than this brow. So let's go back in to my brow product, which is the e.l.f. Instant Lift Waterproof Brow. It's still darker. All right, I'm gonna have to add a little bit more to this. I'll do that off camera though, so as not to bore you. Yeah, symmetry is the hardest thing with makeup, trying to balance what you see on each side of your face. You know, do you have too much blush on this side, not enough over here? Trying to get it just right is definitely the hardest thing. Okay, so let's get into the eyes now. And I'm going to take a clean motor brush and I'm going to go into MAC Omega, which is a neutral matte eyeshadow. This is definitely in my top 5 MAC eyeshadows. If I could only keep 5 of my MAC eyeshadows, this is definitely one that I would keep because it is neutral. The great thing about neutrals is everybody can wear them. Doesn't matter if you're cool toned or warm toned. And neutrals are so versatile. Okay, so I'm just putting this in the crease, and I just realized that I don't typically do both eyes because then I can feel that I've got a piece of hair somewhere. It's tickling over here. But anyways, I don't usually do both eyes because, you know, that makes the video too long. Okay, so the other thing about this color is it's very light, so you don't have to worry about being too heavy-handed with it because it's super easy to blend. So it's a good beginner shade. If you're new to MAC, this is a great place to start because you won't have any trouble blending it because it's a very light color. And the fact that it's neutral, like I said, is going to look good on everybody. So I think that's even. Okay, good. Now on my lid, and I'm going to go back to doing just one eye at a time, otherwise this video will be too long. I need a shader brush. This is just an AOA Studio one. And I'm going to use Satin Taupe, MAC's best-selling eyeshadow of all time for a reason. It is a gorgeous neutral taupe, and the reason why I do this is because some people feel like it's cool tone, some people feel like it's got a bit of warmth to it. So I guess that's true if you look at it. It's cool, but it's warm at the same time. So if you balance that out, it's neutral, right? So I'm going to put that on my lid. And I kind of started in the middle and I'm working my way to the outside because I don't want as much on the inner part, but I do want it to go all the way down to the lash line. So I just picked up a little bit more and I'm gonna really get it down in that lash line because I can't stand that when there's like a white stripe where your lid shade comes through. Okay, so now I can just take what's left on my brush and do the inner part of my lid. And I just want to make sure that it's blended because this is a frost finish. So if you don't blend it enough, it's going to get caught like in any little ridges or skin, your eye skin. So yeah, you want to make sure that you blend it so that you have a nice smooth finish. Okay, now I'm going to switch to what I call a detail brush, but really it's called a small firm eyeshadow brush. This one is by Profusion, and I'm going to go back to Omega and pick some of that up, and we're going to go under the eye. I don't want anything too harsh today under the eye, but I'd still like to do a little something, and make sure you go all the way to that outside corner so that it connects. Okay, now for an eyeliner today, I'm going to use the Revlon Colorstay Multiplayer Liquid Glide Eye Pencil in Under the Radar. This is a taupe. Taupe eyeliners are not that easy to come by, and it's a cool toned taupe that's going to match that satin taupe shade beautifully. Cool to neutral, I guess you'd say. And I'm going to do my waterline. And it's a very light color, so that's why I'm doing a second pass. Okay, now sometimes I don't like to do a brow bone or inner corner highlight. Why? Because I think the other colors are so pretty that it's almost like a detraction from it. So I'm going to shut off the camera, do the other eye, curl my lashes, put my mascara on, and do a very interesting lip combo. Be right back. Okay, so that's the eye part is done. This look that I'm doing today could be worn for any occasion. You could wear any color clothes you want with it, and it's not going to clash with anything, and it's going to be appropriate for any situation. So just keep that in mind. All right, so for a lip pencil today, I'm going to use MAC Whirl, and I spent a lot of time trying to figure out what the best lip liner was for the lipstick that I'm going to use today, and I definitely think this is the best choice. You can't see it that well on my lips because my lips are so pigmented, and I was playing around with lipsticks and lip liners and stuff yesterday, and I think I got a little bit of stain on my lips, but yeah, my lips are so pigmented. Sometimes that's annoying because if I want to wear lighter color lipsticks, it's hard. And we'll see how that works out today because this lipstick is definitely lighter than my lips. This is MAC Alone Time. It's a Lustreglass, and it's a neutral light brown. So let's see if we can cover up some of this color that my lips are. Actually, what it gives me is its own unique color, and of course that would be the case with everybody. But I mean, you can still see my lip color, but it makes it a little more brown and definitely more shiny because it's a luster glass. So it's kind of like a lipstick and gloss in one in terms of the finish. But yeah, it's tough when you have really pigmented lips because you're never going to have the lipsticks that you use are never going to look the same on you as they do on people that have like lips that don't have a lot of pigment to them, but I still like it anyway. Okay, so that is my neutral, everyday, anywhere, goes with everything makeup tutorial. And thank you for watching, guys. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It helps my channel when you do. And thanks for subscribing and watching and all that good stuff. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.